Two words that can change your life, change your mental health, and that have changed my life rapidly are intention and reflection. My name is China McCarney. I am the founder of the Athletes Against Anxiety and Depression Foundation and creator of the Daily Mental Health YouTube channel. And on today's Mental Health Monday, today's video, we're going to be diving into two words that have drastically improved my life and I think can help people slow down to speed up, and I'll explain that in this video as well. So intention and reflection, if you've been here before, you know I like to do definitions. I like to look up the literal meaning of words to make sure we're not just accepting society's definition of a word, and that's what we're going to do today with intention and reflection. If you were here for the other videos, the meditation, we kind of broke down the two different types of meditation, one being concentrative, contemplative, one to check in, one to check out. And you can look at intention and reflection in a similar way, right? Intention is about the future, intending to do something in the future, and so preparing for that. And then reflection is reflecting on the past. What has happened? What occurred? What did I like? What didn't I like? And how can I make changes in the future with intention? You know, with my mental health journey, my panic attacks, I went into kind of the real world examples, pooping my pants, almost passing out. The way all that stuff started to get better is because I really stopped being afraid of it, stopped leaning into it, and really analyzing what was going on in my body and my mind so that I could make adjustments. But early on in the process, early on in the mental health battle, I just white knuckled it and didn't want to even face it. I didn't want to deal with it. I was scared. I was ashamed. I was guilty. And so I would bury everything. But in burying everything, I didn't do any reflecting and I didn't have any intention because I was just trying to act like it didn't exist. My panic attacks didn't exist, which then led to making me depressed, and it was just a negative spiral. And what really changed my journey and what I've talked about on the channel many times is when I just made the decision that if this is going to be a part of me, what can I do with it? For better or for worse, right? Really for better. How can these panic attacks not be such a nuisance that they destroy my life or end up making me take my own life? And that's as real as I can be. So intention and reflection, let's dive in. First, we're going to start with intention. We're going to look at the literal definition because I'm a nerd and love doing that. Intention is defined as the act of determining mentally upon some action or result. And then it says the end or object intended or your purpose. So a lot of words, we break it down like we do on this channel so that we can try to get, I think the point of all these videos is to make mental health just more normal to talk about, but then break down concepts that may seem complex and show how simple they are and how simple they are to implement from day one to start improving your life, start improving your mental health. Because my gap from problem to solution, panic attack to therapy was 6 years. And I always want to shorten the gap. If you're struggling, I don't want anybody to have to struggle that long without help like I did. That's why I do this stuff. So let's dive into that definition a little more. I love the first four words, act of determining mentally. So if you followed my stuff at all, you know my favorite saying is be the change you wish to see in your life, be the change you wish to see in your world. And it's all about action. And so the first word in the definition of intention is act. So it's an action. So the act of determining mentally. So with intention, we are taking action to determine mentally what action or what result we want, right? That I think is pretty simple. I think conceptually we can accept that. And I like that definition. That is basically what I thought it meant before looking it up. I think when we think about being intentional, it's like, well, of course I'm intentional, but life happens, right? And I was on a run early morning a week or two ago. I did a daily mental health message about this, but I was out on the track at the local high school before anybody. It was 6 a.m. or something. And I just had such freedom and silence to analyze my thoughts. And fresh air, it was awesome. I was moving, getting exercise. And it just hit me like, how many days do I start with this level of intention? And then how many times have I looked back and been like, that was a great day. I want to do that again. I want to do that again. And the good news was the answer was pretty positive. I do that more than I don't do it. It was a good reminder, like even though we have tools in the toolbox, it doesn't mean we always do what we should, right? That's just life. Life's never perfect. But it showed me how powerful intention can be. If you start your day with intention, you start your day with the act of determining mentally, what do I want today? What do I want the result to be today? What actions do I need to get there? That's the intention. That's cultivating a better relationship with the disciplined parts of ourselves to create the life that we want to see. And so when I was going through the worst of my panic attacks, the only time I started to implement intention was, okay, I want to get better. I'm going to therapy. Okay, I'm going to therapy. I'm going to be honest. Those are both intentional thoughts. Now that I'm being honest, I'm going to start sharing with the people in my group, right? My parents, my girlfriend, my close friends. That's intentional. I had to be intentional, open up, be vulnerable. And then things started to get better. And as I kept adding meditation, medication, sleep, all the different things that contributed to my mental health getting better, then I had to be more intentional to start the day on bringing those things into my life to continue to help my mental health get better. And so if we start our day, even if you just wake up 5 minutes before your alarm, like set your alarm 5 minutes before you normally do, just so you have 5 minutes in the morning to spend some time in silence, think about who you want to be, what changes you want to see, what's kind of struggling in your life right now, and then allocating your energy towards those things. It's a life changer. It's a game changer, I'm telling you. Because oftentimes we set the alarm, we get up, we shower, we get breakfast, we're speeding to work, we get to work, the day starts coming at us, the phone's off the hook, all that stuff, and there's no intention there. It's just wash, rinse, repeat, and go again. Intention's a very powerful word, and if you just write it on the wall, I have stuff. If I moved this camera for you guys, you would laugh. I've got a whiteboard wall with all these sayings over there. I've got index cards, but just for mental cues to be intentional. And so if we start our day with intention, with space, and we act on those things throughout the day, it doesn't mean it's going to be perfect every time, right? Like we said, life's never perfect. But then the second piece of the puzzle comes in, and that's reflection. So again, intentions, setting the intention for what actions I'm going to take in the present and future. Reflection is looking back on what worked, what didn't work, and making adjustments based on that reflection. So if we look at the definition of reflection, reflection is a focusing of the thoughts on something. That's literally it before the semicolon, by the way. So a focusing of the thoughts on something. We can all do that. I know everybody watching is capable of focusing their thoughts on something. Most of the time our phones and social media, right? And then after the semicolon, careful consideration. So focusing of our thoughts on something and then careful consideration. As I referenced the other meditation video before, we did a video about the 2 types of meditation. Reflection is a type of meditation, right? So yesterday, as I said on this channel and in all my stuff, my mental health battle is still going. I have not conquered that battle, and I never will. And that's okay. I had to accept that. I had 2 panic attacks yesterday, one in my boss's car and one out on a hike. And when I got home last night, I just kind of reflected, and I just gave myself permission to be proud of myself that I didn't quit. I felt like I was going to puke in his car. I had to tell him and my coworker to roll down the window. They were concerned for me. But I was like, no, just keep going. Let's go. We're going on the hike. And then on the hike, we were just out in the LA hills, somewhere I'd never been. It's overgrown because of the rain. But so last night I reflected, focused my thoughts on something. So first I kind of started, why do I think the panic attacks occurred? This week I went up to my hometown for the first time in 18 years, revisited some painful stuff with my parents' divorce and my mom going to jail a couple times. And just, I think there was a lot mentally that went on this week, which is why I was more susceptible to a panic attack yesterday. But when I focused on it, instead of being negative and wow, I'm still struggling with this thing after all this work I've done and all this money I've spent on therapy and brain coaches and all this stuff, with the careful consideration part of the definition, I was like, no, you did it anyway. And think about all the things I've done anyway. And I just kind of tried to be my biggest fan, which I tell people to be all the time, because we're the only person that we spend 100% of our time with. And so if your self-talk is negative, the person that you hang out with 100% of the time is negative to yourself, that's a bad recipe. We're in trouble. And I only can say that because my self-talk has been terrible for years. And my buddies joke about it when we play video games, that if they clipped some of the things and we shared it in the AAAD sphere, it'd be pretty toxic, but it's something I'm working on. It's a lot easier to continue to make progress if you're first intentional to start your day and you do constant reflection on where you're improving, where you would like to improve, so that you can go out and be the change you wish to see in your life. So my advice at the end of this video is, first, of course, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like, drop some stuff in the comments that you'd like to see. But in all seriousness, start your day with intention. My thing is, I just make a pact with myself. I'm going to start my day with silence. The phone is nowhere near me. Start my day, listen to my thoughts, think about what I'm trying to accomplish in life, the person I'm trying to be. And then at the end of the day, same thing, give yourself permission to spend time in silence, reflect on what happened that day, what's happened in your life, where you'd like to improve, and then just get to work. And if it goes well, awesome. Keep it as part of your journey. If it doesn't go well, awesome. Because it's a mistake, it's something to learn from. based on reflection, you can have different intention the next day. So intention, reflection, these two words change my life, change my mental health, and they can do so for you as well. Be the change you wish to see in your life so we can all be the change we wish to see in the world. Appreciate all of you, and we'll see you soon.